All right, let's go over the right answers to the some more mole to mass problems or mass to moles, either way. So going over these, we're going to be using this second equation up here that I have. Move that up just a little bit. There we go. And I know I had the double question mark there, which what in the world is that? That's that molar mass piece that you did the day before. So you have to find out the molar mass of the substance. And then the other side is from the question, because they're either going to give us mass, which will be in grams, or they're going to give us moles, so that we can find out the other one. All right. So let's go through the first one. It says find the mass in grams of each. Oops. Let me switch over to the next page here. So in the first one, we've got 5.23 moles of silver. So first thing we need to do is we got to find out the molar mass of silver. Well, there's just one of him, and his mass is 108. So that means it's 108. So we're going to set that up in this one. That was my double question mark. So 108 grams of silver is 1 mole of silver. Then it says I don't have 1 mole. I got 5.23 moles. So that's going to go on the bottom on the other side. And we're going to find out X grams of silver on top. So cross multiply X times 1 equals 108 times 5.23. You multiply that out, and you should get an answer of 565. And that's grams of silver is the answer. So what does that say? Well, if I only had 1 mole, I'd have 108 grams. But really I've got 5.23. I got 5 moles of it. Well, that's going to be 565 grams. That's what we just calculated. Okay. All right, so let's go to letter B. Letter B, I got to erase the entire thing because everything's going to be different again. This one says we got 3.71 moles of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. So the first thing I got to do is got to find out that molar mass of that stuff up there. So it's 2 times the mass of hydrogen is 1, plus 2 times 16 for oxygen. So that's 2 plus 32, so that's 34. So now we're going to put that in this equation that's back here. We're going to go 34 grams of H2O2 is 1 mole of H2O2. But I don't have 1 mole, I've got 3.71 moles. So that's on the bottom over here of H2O2 and X grams of H2O2 on top. So cross multiply 1 times X equals 34 times 3.71. And if you multiply that out, you're going to get an answer of 126 grams of H2O2. All right, so again, it's saying that if I only had 1 mole, it would be 34 grams. So I don't have 1, I've got 3.71. And that would be 126 grams of it. All right, let's go to letter C. All right, letter C, we've got 0.0428 moles of KNO3. So same idea, we got to find out that molar mass of that KNO3. So it's 1 times 19 for potassium plus 1 times 14 for nitrogen plus 3 oxygens times 16. Okay. So if we add this up, 19 plus 14 plus 48. When you add that together, it turns out to be 81. So that's going to be my double question mark. 81 grams of KNO3 is 1 mole of KNO3. But then again, I don't have 1 mole. I got this really small amount of moles this time. I got 0.0428 moles of KNO3. I want to find out X grams of KNO3. So cross multiply X times 1 equals 81 times 0.0428. And if you multiply that out, it's going to be a smaller number. So it's 3.47, and that was grams of KNO3 is my answer. All right, so that takes care of the first one. Time to go on to the second one. Second one says we've got 2.81 moles of each of these 2 substances. All right. So I'll erase all this. So we've got 2.81 moles of, and the first one says it's nickel fluoride. Well, nickel fluoride, it's just a name, so we gotta write this out. Nickel, he's a +2. And then fluoride, that's fluorine, that's a negative. Oh my goodness, this is from like the last trimester. Yep, it is. Remember I told you this is gonna keep building on itself. So we gotta do the crisscross. So there's my formula for this guy. Now that I know the formula, now I can do the molar mass. So we're gonna go 1 times the mass of nickel, which I think was 59. Yep. Plus, there's 2 fluorines times his mass is 19. So we add this together. And that's what, 1797, right? Yep. So now I put that in my equation. There's 97 grams of nickel fluoride if I had 1 mole of nickel fluoride. I don't have 1 mole, I got 2.81 of nickel fluoride. And we're going to find X grams of nickel fluoride. Cross multiply X times 1 equals 97 times 2.81. And if you multiply that out, you're going to get X equals 273 grams of NiF2. All right, second half. We're still going to use that 2.81 because that's what they told us for both of these. But now this other half is going to change because we're going to change the substance. Because now it says it's manganese bromide. So manganese is Mn. He's a +2. Bromide, that's bromine. He's a -1. Crisscross those and we get MnBr2. So now multiply these out, I get 1 manganese times 55 from the periodic table, plus 2 bromines times 80. So that's 55 plus 1 is 60. So that comes to 215. So 215 grams of MnBr2 is 1 mole of MnBr2. I don't have 1 mole, I got 2.81 moles. So 2.81 moles of MnBr2. And we're looking at X grams of MnBr2. So cross multiply, X times 1 equals 215 times 2.81. And X is going to equal about 604 grams of MnBr2. So that concludes number 2. Now I'll go to question number 3. Question number 3, find the number of moles in each quantity. So now they're just switching it up on us. Now we're going to be given grams, and we've got to find moles. We're still going to do the same process. It's just going to change the math down here just a little bit. So 3 letter A, I've got 0.247 grams of what stuff? Beryllium, Be. So I got to do the same step. I got to find out that molar mass of beryllium. There's only 1 of him, times his molar mass is 9. So that gives me 9. So it's 9 grams of Be if I had 1 mole of Be. But I don't have 9 grams. I got that number of grams. I got 0.247 grams of Be. I want to find X moles of Be. Cross multiply 9 times X equals 1 times 0.247. Now I gotta get X by itself, so divide both sides by 9. That gets rid of that 9. And X ends up equaling 0.274, and that's moles of Be. Now remember, moles is like dozens. So I got like a quarter of a dozen, all right, of these Be atoms. All right, next one. Next one says we got 49.3 grams of ZNO, zinc oxide. So I got to figure out that molar mass. 1 times 65 for zinc, plus 1 times 16 for oxygen. So that's 65 plus 16. That's 11. That's 81 for that guy. So I've got 81 grams of ZNO if I had 1 mole of ZNO. But I really got 49.3 grams of ZNO. I want to find out X moles that is of ZNO. So cross multiply, 81 times X equals 1 times 49.3. Get X by itself, divide both sides by 81. That gets rid of that 81, so X is all by himself, and X equals 0.609, and that's moles of ZNO is my answer. All right. Last one in question number 3. So this one in question number 3, we got 83.6 grams of SrNO2. So again, same idea. We got to find out that molar mass of this guy. There's 1 strontium, and his mass is 88 from the periodic table. I'm gonna get my lights back on. Without pulling them down. There we go. So 1 times 88, and then we got, there's 2 nitrogens times 14, plus there's 2 times 2, that's 4 oxygens times 16. So add these guys up, that's 88 plus 28 plus 64. And if we add that up, we get 180. So that's 180 grams of SrNO2 if I had 1 mole of SrNO2. So now on the other side, I don't have 180, I get 83.6 grams of SrNO2. And we're going to try and find out X moles that is. So cross multiply 180 times X equals 1 times 83.6. Get X by itself. And X ends up equaling 0.464 moles of SrNO2. All right, I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to go to part number 2 to answer the last ones. So see you in a minute.